Villain, Life Foundation, Phage, Ambush. Let's go to the rulebook, shall we, and check out this ambush effect. If a new villain has an ambush effect on this card, do what it says. Remember, if a villain escaped when this new villain appeared, handle all the escape effects for the escaping villain before handling any ambush effect for the new villain. So Phage says ambush. A villain from the escape pile or your victory pile symbiote bonds with Phage. Let's check out the rulebook so we can understand the term symbiote bonds. Now this is a long one, so get comfortable. Me. Okay guys, let's do this. Symbiote bonds. This keyword represents how symbiotes like Hybrid, Riot, and Lasher bond with other characters, enhancing them with a dark shell. You must fight the combined strength of the host and symbiote to split them apart, then finish what remains in a second fight. Some villains say things like ambush. A henchman villain from your victory pile symbiote bonds with Lasher. This means stack this card onto the specified villain, combining them into a single villain with both card strengths and text added together. To fight a combined villain, you must spend the total strength of both villain cards combined. Rescue the bystanders that combined villain had. Then put one of the villain cards from that combined villain into your victory pile and do that card's fight effect. The other card from the combined villain stays in that city space and you don't do its fight effect. If a combined villain escapes, it's only a single escape, so it only KOs one hero that costs 6 or less from the HQ. If it's carrying any number of bystanders, it makes all players discard a single card as normal. Do the escape abilities of both those villain cards in any order. Once in the escape pile, they are 2 unattached villains again. Keep one card of the combined villain tucked under the other so you can see both card strength and text. Since a combined villain has the text of both its villain cards, it can get extra strength or restrictions from various special abilities on either of its cards. It also counts as both cards' villain groups. Symbiote bonds never combine more than 2 villains in the same city space. Ignore any effect that would combine a third villain in that space. Once 2 villains are bonded, only fighting can break them up. Other symbiote bonds abilities can't break up a combined villain to attach one of the cards to do something else. If a symbiote bond ability puts a new villain card into the city from a villain deck, escape pile, victory pile, etc., do any ambush ability on the newly entering card. However, that ambush ability won't be able to break up a combined villain or add a third card to it. If a special ability automatically defeats a combined villain, you still put just one of its cards into your victory pile and do that card's fight effect. A combined villain with the victory points of both its cards combined, so you can spend piercing energy from Legendary X-Men, that's an extra box, equal to both cards' total combined victory points to fight the combined villain, putting one of its cards into your victory pile as normal. That's a lot to read, but I think you understand now how Symbiote Bond works for the most part. Alright, let's move on. I need to say this about Phage. He comes into the city after the ambush with a strength of 3 and 3 victory points when you defeat him. Moving forward to Agony. Ambush. Reveal the top 3 cards of the villain deck. A villain you revealed symbiote bonds with Agony. Put the rest back in any order. Escape effect. Each player reveals a covert symbol hero or gains a wound. If a villain escapes the city, you must do that effect. That is how escape works. Okay, so let's move forward to Scream, but not before I mention that Agony comes with a strength of 3, and when you defeat her, she gives you 3 victory points. I have to remember to say this about Scream before we move on. So, Scream has an ambush effect that states reveal the top card of the villain deck. If it's a henchman or a Life Foundation villain, its symbiote bonds with Scream. Scream has a base strength value of 4, and when you defeat her, she gives you 4 victory points. Dr. Carlton Drake. Fight. Each Instinct and Tech hero currently in the HQ costs 1 less this turn. He has a base strength value of 5, and when you defeat him, you get 3 victory points. Lasher. Ambush. A henchman villain from your victory pile symbiote bonds with Lasher. He has a base strength value of 2, and he gets you 2 victory points when you defeat him, and there are 2 of his cards in this set. Riot. Ambush. Reveal the top card of the villain deck. If it's a villain, its symbiote bonds with Riot. Fight. KO one of your heroes. He comes with a base strength value of 2, and when you defeat him, you get 2 victory points. There are 2 of his cards in the set. There are 8 cards in each villain set, so he's not super powerful, but his effect can certainly mess you up. The symbiote bond effect is a lot of fun, but you're not going to like it when it gets onto some of these tougher villains that are out there in this game. So let's just move forward to let's look forward to something else after this. I'm not looking forward to the symbiote bond effect, fighting it. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm interested in seeing what kind of combinations go along with it. The villains themselves are pretty reasonable to defeat. Dr. Carlton Drake, he's got a cool effect that actually will help you, so that's interesting. So it's not altogether bad. Just kind of scary if you think about how these things can attach to other villains. Thank you for paying attention to Life Foundation.